Soul Rising, dear family. I look forward to sharing this truth with you. Christ Game Saga, Part 17 of Infinity, the Genesis of the Soul Supremacist. Once again, Christ Game Saga, Part 17 of Infinity, the Genesis of the Soul Supremacist. What is all of this that I mean of? I have more revelations now, more things that I've just recently learned as well that I'm about to apply to this video to get ready to march into the next thing, in which is going to drag us all home. You follow what I'm saying? What's my revelation? The first one that I got is this one right here. What the soul actually is. I did some more research, or not necessarily research entirely, but I just looked over the definitions again and compared and contrasted to everything that's within my foundation of knowledge and or epistemology right now currently. Epistemology. Look up what the definition of epistemology means. EP or epistemology. Just think epist and then like just epistemology. And I find that the soul, in actuality, what it is both our conscious mind and our subconscious mind internally in one. That's what I find the soul to be. But in the reason why this is a revelation to me is because I this entire time have been saying the spirit is our conscious mind, which in a sense it is, in a literal sense, meaning the spirit is our conscious mind in a literal sense. You follow what I'm saying? But the soul itself is our actual conscious mind and our actual subconscious mind internally together as one. Whereas the spirit itself, the spirit is our somatic plane in its entirety. You follow what I'm saying? So meaning the spirit is our physical bodies as well as the foundation of the planet and or the earth star chakra or the planet that we are on right now currently, if this makes sense to you thus far. I'm going to explain this in a lot more detail, but first, the definition of respect. I'm about to just combine it all, because remember, it's a Christ game. It's a Christ game. It's going to be most likely one of the last Christ games I play for a while, because I really do want to start getting straight to the point so I can get you all to the established Yahusha pronto. You follow what I'm saying? So, the definition of respect. A deep feeling of admiration for the soul, or something elicited by the soul's abilities, qualities, or achievements. Abilities, qualities, or achievements. Christ Game Saga, Part 17 of Infinity, the Genesis of the Soul Supremacist explained, or the Genesis of the Soul Supremacist, meaning the beginning point of the Soul Supremacist. And before I move on, I want to mention all of these things again, because this might be the actual last Christ game for a minute. Why do I call it a Christ Game Saga? Remember, a saga is a long, involved story account or series of incidents, narrative. Have you ever noticed that the word Ra is in the word narrative? And Ra means, in Egyptian mythology, the sun, which is like the sun in the sky there currently, the sun in the spiritual air, the sun in our spiritual air right now currently. You follow what I'm saying? And I call it a saga because a saga is what it is. I go off the word what the words literally mean. A saga is a long, involved story account or series of incidents. I don't really mean to make these videos this long or these talks this long. It's just there are a lot of words that are necessary to be said in any kind of sequence that I wish to say them, but they must be all said. You follow what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just say as much as I can and move forward from there. So, saga. A long, involved story. Me being involved with this story as I am telling it to you. Me being involved with this story as I am telling it to you, no matter how long it is. And then game. Why do I call it a game? Because of what the word game literally means. Game, G-A-M-E, meaning to manipulate a situation, typically in a way that is unfair or unscrupulous. I am trying to manipulate the current situation that is going in the wrong direction, to manipulate it to move in the right direction by telling you about the soul supremacy idea. The soul supremacy idea, or my conviction, soul sovereignty, it's going to be what manipulates the situation of the world and drives them to the right direction. And I have to do this by in a way of telling you a long, involved story account and or series of incidents to drive you all in the right direction, which is soul supremacy. You follow what I'm saying? Once the light gets into the spiritual air, it'll never go down again. It's metaphysical though. You'll get what I mean in a moment. So, game, manipulate a situation typically in a way that is unfair or unscrupulous. How can I manipulate the situation unfairly or unscrupulously like? Because I'm going to do everything the devil did in reverse. Everything the devil did in reverse. So, the devil put us through multiple genocides. I'm going to do the same thing, just metaphysically. So that means the devil killed us all physically numerous times over. I'm going to do it metaphysically numerous times over. This is exactly how I'm going to do everything the devil did in reverse. Think about it. Or at least this is how I see it. The devil just popped out of nowhere and forced us all to go in the wrong direction. So why can't somebody from God's team just pop up out of nowhere and force us all to go in the right direction? This is the whole point of the game that I'm playing on your lives and on your psyche right now currently. That's the point of it. To be that antithesis of what the devil is, period. And then, Christ's game. That's why I call it a game saga. Christ's game saga. Now, why Christ? Because of the literal definition of Christ. Remember, I go off the definitions of things. I always go off the literal meanings and definitions of things. Christ. What does the word Christ mean? Christ means the title. Also treated as a name given to Jesus, who is also Yeshua and or Yahusha. So Yahusha Christ. Or Yahweh Shai Christ. You follow what I'm saying? And then it also has another definition. An oath. Used to express irritation, dismay, or surprise. Used to express an oath. Used to express irritation, dismay, or surprise. So what does that mean? To simply tell the truth about what is going on. Simply tell the truth about what's going on. Remember, it's just the first step. The truth is the first step. Revealing the truth to the world is just the first step. What is the truth? The truth is what's in accordance with being true. What's true? What's in accordance with fact or reality? Reality is the world, or the state of things as they actually exist, as opposed to a notional idea of them. So, an irritation to express, an oath to spiritually express irritation, dismay, or surprise. A spiritual oath to express irritation, dismay, or surprise. Dismay or surprise. Remember, in this world, they want you to suffer peacefully. Malcolm X voice. So, do the opposite and express. You want to know what's going to happen when you express? You're going to reveal to your brethren and or your system right next to you what this evil is doing to its own body. And eventually, just like the soul man, so to speak, inside of every member of my melanated family, eventually they'll do something about it. Eventually they will. They just got to feel like it. Moving forward. So here. What's the meaning of that definition, though, before I move on? Because I wanted to give you more reasoning as to why I call it a Christ game saga. More reasoning. More. You want to know why I want to give you so much more reasoning? Because the more reasoning you have, the more reasoning you'll have to do something about what's going on. Soul supremacy. Long story short. Moving forward, though. Here. Christ, right? Christ game saga. Part 17 of Infinity. This Genesis of the Spiritual Supremacist. Christ, an irritation used to express dismay or surprise, right? Surprise. Revelations, revealing them to reality. That's what a surprise is. Literally speaking, not feeling-wise speaking. A revelation is literally a surprise. And then you have things like dismay. Reject what the enemy says about suffering peacefully. Speak your mind. Stop the evil from happening and prevent it from being able to happen again. You follow what I'm saying? Prevent the evil from being able to ever happen again. You follow what I'm saying? An oath used to express irritation, dismay, or surprise. Remember, our sisters, our magnificent, wonderful, beautiful, glorious women, them that are being forcefully turned against us right now. Their way of beating us and or putting us down is by inserting anguish and pain into our mind, heart spaces, and or our psyches and grinding them into dust. And after they are grinded into dust, our magnificent sisters will then hop into the cloud of smoke and start twerking. In other words, An oath used to express irritation. Express irritation. If you stop ignoring red flags, long story short. Remember, the Christ game saga. Christ game saga. Manipulating a situation with a long involved story, account, or series of incidents. Stop being scared to speak up. It's not what Christ is about. Christ ain't scared to speak up about what's bothering him. That's what the whole point of Christ is for. You follow what I'm saying? So that's the whole point of the Christ game saga. And this is the Christ game saga part 17 of Affinity, the Spirit, the Soul. The genesis of the soul, Supremacists. Genesis meaning the beginning. Soul meaning emotional or emotional energy or intensity, especially as revealed as a work of art or an artistic performance. Emotional energy. That's what it says, right? No, it doesn't say that. This is what it actually says. Emotional or intellectual energy. That's going to be important for a moment. Emotional or intellectual energy or intensity, especially as revealed in a work of art or an artistic performance. That's the definition of a soul right there. One of the definitions that I'm going to be using for this video here as I begin. Soul supremacy, the march. This is about to be the first footstep into what I like to label and describe as the soul game saga. Once this here Christ game saga, the full explanation here is completed, I'll be ready to move on to explaining the soul game saga. That there is going to be the sword. And my sword consists of moral purification, global moral purification. I look forward to talking through the soul game saga. That's what I look forward to. I really look forward to that. But right now it's the Christ game saga. And the Christ game is the first one. Mostly about spirit. But we're getting ready to step into the soul with strong, strong divine strength. Like right now, for example. So here we go. Here's how I'm going to break this one down, this explanation, to begin the genesis of soul supremacy. As I said earlier, respect. That word is going to be strongly used in this video as well. Respect. A deep feeling of admiration for something or something illicit by its abilities, qualities, or achievements. Abilities, qualities, or achievements. Keep those three words in mind. Illicit, of course, keep that word in mind. And the soul, of course, keep that word in mind. And also, too, I'm going to put a layout of, if I got the time to, and my video doesn't cut off on me again like it just did a moment ago, or the last video. I'm also going to explain the layout of my Cosmic Yahusha 6-9 game, or at least through by way of explaining the 9 great fathers to you and why I have them in the story as well. And these here words will be what shatters the foul principality prison in thy mind, heart, psyche. And it'll drive it out here into the physical where we can be able to deal with it face to face, firsthand. And you'll finally see what I'm talking about. Because in other words, I'm bringing the spirit into our reality. I'm bringing the spirit into our reality. Long story short, right? So, check this out before I go on. Abilities, qualities, and achievements, right? Now, I've done some more studying, and I've come across this here diagram and or a spiritual anatomy chart, or a soul anatomy chart, or the anatomy of the soul in a sense. You follow what I'm saying? And it has 3 layers upon it. It has a transcendence layer, and the word trans means across, Latin origin across, or the actual literal definition meaning beyond. And there are words like transcendence, transpersonal, transgression, transport. You know, there are, let me see, transaction, of course. There's lots of words you can use the word trans with, not just the way they perverted it. You follow what I'm saying? So let's just keep it from what it actually means, transcend here. That's where I'm getting at, transcend or transperson, you see. But here's the thing, you're trans person, or you're transformed person. It's another word, transform, right? If you wish to be not of this world, Romans 12, 1 and 2. Transformed person, you're beyond person. That is your conscious mind right there. That is literally the artwork of your conscious mind. And here's what I found out. That entire essence of you is soul only. It's not spirit. In a sense, it's soul. Here's the thing. Spirit is the face of soul. The spirit is the face of the soul. The spirit is the physical flesh bag face of the non-physical metaphysical soul. Spirit is all physical. Soul is all non-physical. This is what I've been leaving out. And my recent studies brought me back to this conclusion. Spirit is all physical, all ethereal. Spirit, Latin origin, spiritus, or spirare, meaning breathe. To spiritus, meaning breath. Spirit as well. And then spirit also has another definition. The non-physical parts of a person, which is the seat of emotions and character, the soul. But here's the thing though. Now, of course, they're still one and the same thing, the spirit and the soul are. In a sense, in a literal sense, they are. Only in a literal sense, they're the one and the same thing. But see, here's the thing. The spirit is how the soul breathes. Think of it in that regard. The spirit is how the soul breathes, right? The spirit is how the soul breathes. But if the soul is doing the breathing, that means the soul must be in control in order to breathe the way it desires to breathe. And like here, I want to also to quote this. Brother KRS-One, I want to throw what you said in this video strongly. You said these words out loud. You said, we're not breathing in air per se. We're breathing in consciousness. That's what you said, right? And this is here why I also say the spirit is the conscious mind, but in actuality, it's the soul in which is the conscious mind and the subconscious mind in one. The spirit is the physical body as well as the ethereal realm and/or the planet we are on and the foundation of the ethereal realm all in one. So the foundation or the body and the super foundation, the body and the super body, and then you got the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. You follow what I'm saying? The conscious mind of this conscious mind and the subconscious mind and the soul, and then you have the unconscious mind and the environment of the spirit. You follow what I'm saying? That's what it is, logically speaking, literally speaking right there. So in other words, the soul is wearing the spirit. The soul is wearing the spirit, and/or the soul is driving the spirit. The soul is driving the spirit. But is it? No. You want to know why? Because there are lots of negative, foul principality issues plaguing our spiritual space right now currently. In the form of a four-corner mental spirit prison, which is what I'm getting ready to tell you words out loud that are going to shatter, break apart, and bring those things forming this prison out here, out in the physical with us so we can see it and subjugate it. Eventually. Moving forward. KRS-One. Why do we allow the oppressive force of people to keep spraying aluminum gas into our spirit? Think about it. The spirit is our oxygen, right? This is what we can agree with. We agree with this, right? The spirit itself is how our soul breathes. You follow what I'm saying? This physical spiritual realm that we are in. Because the physical realm is spiritual. It's all spirit in the physical, if you want to look at it from a logical spiritual standpoint. And the soul is what's driving the spiritual vehicle in its entirety. If we can agree to this finally, right? So brother KRS-One, why are we, as the spiritual God or as the soul God we are, allowing such brain dead retards to spray and poison our oxygen spirit as they are doing every day of our lives? Why are we allowing this, brother KRS-One? I have an answer. It's real simple. It's one word, and it starts with an S. Stupid. We're all stupid. This is why we're allowing them to do these things to us. And what happens when we are stupid? We lose track of who our actual driver is currently. We lose the concept of who our driver is. And who is our driver? The literal personification of the soul itself. The soul. How can we get the soul back into the driver's seat? How can we? by having a full understanding of what the soul actually is. And here are the parables that I came up with to give us an ability to understand it faster, faster, faster. You follow what I'm saying? Respect, a deep feeling of admiration for something or something elicited by its abilities, qualities, or achievements. A deep feeling of admiration for the soul or something elicited by the soul's abilities, qualities, or achievements. I just talked about the anatomy of the soul, which is the transpersonal state. The second one, there's 3 states, technically 4, but I'm going to go off what the online hierarchy says. The first part of the soul's anatomy being the transcendent state, or transcendent realm, or the transpersonal realm, meaning you, beyond you. The soul is your actual you. The soul entirely is your actual you. This is another thing I should have been saying. The transpersonal state, which are the abilities. Then you have the ego plane right here, which are the qualities, you see? And then you have the somatic, along with the environment, which are the achievements. And the literal meaning of what an achievement is, an accomplishment of some sort, something that has been achieved or done. This is what achievement is. So in other words, an achievement is your qualities in the physical. The achievement are your achievements are your qualities in the physical, you see. This is why also too the word qualities means the standard of something as measured against other things of a similar kind. Standards, a level of quality or attainment, a level of quality or attainment. An attainment, what kind of level of attainment? How about a high level of attainment? How about the most high God's level of attainment? Which is what I'm about to tell you in a moment. But first keep this in mind, because respect of the soul is the respect of your abilities and qualities and the achievements of its physical achievements. Admiration of them, in other words. Respect of the abilities, respect what the soul draws out of you into the physical. That's overall what this message is for. Telling you to respect overall what the soul draws out of you into the physical. And the soul, what does it embody? The soul, according to the soul's anatomy diagram that I have set up, is the transcendent state, or the transcendent plane, which also at its core consists of your soul star chakra, your crown chakra, and your earth star chakra. And then it has your qualities in the ego plane, which is of your third eye chakra, your throat chakra, and your heart chakra. And then the somatic plane, which consists of your solar plexus chakra, your sacral chakra, and your root chakra. Now, the online hierarchy says a little bit different because it doesn't have the soul star chakra nor the earth star chakra in the online hierarchy. But so I use it a bit differently. The online hierarchy has the transcendent plane as just the crown chakra and the third eye chakra. No soul star chakra at all. And the third eye chakra is in the transcendent spot. And then on the ego plane, ego. What does ego literally mean? Ego is the part of the mind that mediates between the conscious and the unconscious and is responsible for reality testing and a sense of personal identity. The soul itself. Because that's essentially what the soul is. Soul is, when you take a look at some more definitions of the word soul. But here, soul, ego, right? Online, the ego plane harbors the throat chakra, heart chakra, and solar plexus chakra on the online hierarchy. And then the somatic plane, it just harbors the sacral chakra and the root chakra. So I'm going to rearrange it slightly for my own personal benefits to hurry up and get my soul, or get our soul, since you all want to say, I'm just so full of myself, right? That's what you all want to say. I'm just so full of myself. It just so happens that myself, inner me, is a soul that is genderless, all power, the God of gods. This is going to manifest to and throughout into the world, especially once I finish this explanation here. Moving forward, abilities and qualities, starting there. Abilities from your transcendent plane, your soul star chakra, and your crown chakra, and your earth star chakra. That's what I personally am going to have it set up as. And then qualities lining up with the egoic plane, which will have the third eye chakra, the heart chakra, or the third eye chakra, the throat chakra, and the heart chakra in one. That's what I'm going to have set up for the egoic plane, where I am going to have it set up. You don't have to see it like this. You can see it the way the online hierarchy set up has it. But me personally, it makes more sense like this, where the conscious mind, your transcendent plane, where your abilities come from, the soul star chakra, crown chakra, and the earth star chakra. And then you have the egoic plane, your interpersonal self, the subconscious mind, or the soul subconscious mind. Let's never forget, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind are both of the soul and the soul alone. Astral realm in its entirety. The spirit is the entirety of the ethereal realm, and the soul is the entirety of the astral realm. The spirit is the entirety of the ethereal realm, and the soul is the entirety of the astral realm. As above, so below. Heaven is above, the most high, soul. Earth is below, the most lowest, spirit. Moving forward, though. So, egoic plane. Let's talk about that for a moment. Egoic plane holds your qualities, your standards, and/or where your standards source from. And your egoic plane is connected to your somatic most highest plane, meaning the entirety of your soul there. And now into the spirit, the physical. Because the spirit is the physical reality, wouldn't we agree? Meaning reality equals spirit. Wouldn't you agree? And soul equals engine that drives spirit. Wouldn't you agree? So, the somatic plane, the three chakras of it, the solar plexus chakra, the sacral chakra, and the root chakra. What is a chakra? A chakra, in Indian thought, each of the centers of spiritual power in the human body, usually considered to be 7 in number, but it is infinite. The somatic plane, where the root chakra, the sacral chakra, or the solar plexus chakra, sacral chakra, and root chakra are upon the environment. Those three in one thing, upon the other thing, the environment. And then the spirit soul as two other things, in one with those one, two, internal, external, soul internal, spiritual external. You see, as within, so throughout. Soon the soul's behavior patterns will realign with the spirits. So, more details though. I have something now that I'm going to add to this to make it make more sense, and I'm going to close the video out. It's about 4 different hierarchies. I have what you would label and describe as the 12 spiritual crop lines, 12 soul words, 12 divine activities, and then I finally have the 12 environmental purifiers, broken into 4 groups and spread across the entire soul anatomy diagram to target each of those chakras that I mentioned in each one. I have that, which is what I'm not going to mention in this video here. What I'm going to mention are what I just mentioned in the previous video that got cut out on me when I was talking, and I was almost finished with closing out my idea to label and describe at the end of the video, is how being a soul supremacist is what destroys the mental spirit prison, keeping you away from being who you actually are, the soul inside. You follow what I'm saying? Becoming a soul supremacist is how you destroy the foul principality prison within thy mind space, or that psyche, stopping you from being who you are truly. You follow what I'm saying? So, once again, the 16 soul supremacy dimensions explained. I'm going to make it quick so I can close the video out. The 16 soul supremacy dimensions, once again. What are they? First off, they're just words, honestly. It's technically about 14 or 13 even, because, you know, the words, peace is mentioned twice and love is mentioned twice. And I said 14, so it's technically like 12 dimensions, you follow me? But due to the sake of how I have 4 layers that I'm targeting here, meaning I'm targeting the mind, which is the transcendent space. I'm targeting the heart, which is the egoic plane. I'm targeting the body, which is the spiritual plane, and the environment in which the body is standing upon, which is also the spiritual plane. Due to me targeting 4 areas there, I have 16 things in total, broken off into 4s to target all 4 of them. meaning I got 4 for the mind, which are peace, love, unity, peace, respect, balance, and progression. 4 to target the mind, peace, respect, balance, and progression. Then I have 4 to target the ego plane, peace, love, unity, and advancement. Then I have 4 to target the physical body, which is first, calmness, serenity, love, and righteousness, first. And then I have 4 to target the environment in which this entire persona of you, the psyche soul, or the soul psyche of you, is standing upon, the environment it is standing upon. And those 4 words will be all things good, beautiful, normal, and natural. Manifest these dimensions into your reality pronto. You follow what I'm saying? What am I ultimately getting at here? These dimensions that I just mentioned, these are what you are going to elicit of from your actual self when you begin to respect your soul and trust your spirit. Trust what you know. Trust what you know. Remember, the soul ain't living without the spirit, and the spirit ain't living without the soul. They need each other. The spirit is more so material, but it's also our ethereal. So it's physical and non-physical simultaneously, whereas the soul itself is the omnipresent battery in which gives the spirit its chances to be, meaning our reality. The soul is the omnipresent energy, indoor intensity that gives this here magnificent reality of ours, if ran correctly, its abilities to be here. You follow what I'm saying? So, more details about these dimensions though. 4 of them, right? They are each foundations of those 4 sets there that I mentioned. And peace. What is this dimensional read? I'm going to explain these definitions one more time, and that'll be the end of this explanation. And then I can finally get ready to move on to the soul game, or the soul game part 1 of infinity. And we'll finally be stepping out of the Christ games for a while. So, peace. What is its dimensional measurement? First of all, what is a dimension? A dimension is a measurable extent of some kind, meaning a measurable extent of a word, a measurable extent of a person. Did you know, if you learned of who all 8.062 billion people are on this planet at one time in one lifetime, did you know you'll be practicing an 8.062 billion dimensional thinking mind activity? You are really, truly, truly magnificent. Remember, your infinite dimensional thinking mind. You have an infinite dimensional thinking mind. It's infinite. And I am telling you 16 dimensions right now. A really low number. Because I like to go into 2, 3s, and 4 and 500s when I really talk to you. But here, peace defines as freedom from disturbance, tranquility, freedom from wars, or a state or period in which there is no war. A war has ended. Your soul's highest transcendent self, or your conscious mind, is always at peace, never fighting with anything. Next, measurement, balance, or respect. Respect is the next word. A deep feeling of admiration for the soul, or something elicited by the soul's abilities, qualities, or achievements. Remember, we are also in the lane of abilities right now, currently in the transcendent personal state, where peace is targeting the soul star chakra, respect is targeting the crown chakra, balance is targeting the earth star chakra, and progression are where those 3 in one form are headed towards. You follow what I'm saying? And that there ends the dimensional measurements of the highest transcendence plane, your conscious mind, the first part of your soul. And now moving to the next part of your soul before we head to the physical, the subconscious mind, the egoic plane, the part of the mind that mediates between the highest part, the transcendence part, mediates, meaning forms a connection between the highest part of yourself, which is the conscious mind, the transcendence plane, and then the lowest part of yourself, the unconscious mind, the physical body. This here egoic part of you forms a connection between these things to give them their abilities to function properly. Peace, respect, or peace, love, unity, and advancement. This is the qualities lane, yes? This is the lane for the qualities. And the quality is the standard of something is measured against other things of a similar kind, and a standard is something that is a level of quality or attainment. That's literally what it defines as. So a level of quality or attainment. So that means a level of equality or a level of attainment. What level of attainment? How high of a level of attainment can we talk about here? How about the one that we're describing right now? The soul's level of attainment. What is it on this field right here? The first one was peace, respect, balance, and progression. This one is peace, love, unity, and advancement. Now let's measure all four of them real quick. Peace, just defined it, freedom from disturbance. Love, what is it? Love is an intense feeling of deep affection. An intense feeling of deep affection. An intense feeling of deep affection. Watch this. Yeah, intense feeling of deep affection. And affection is a gentle feeling of fondness or liking, right? Gentle feeling of fondness or liking, right? Now watch this also. Archaically, meaning very old-fashioned, the word love or the word affection defines as just a mental state, an emotion. Did you know the word soul also defines as emotional or intellectual energy or intensity, especially as revealed as a work of art or an artistic performance? So in other words, love is the soul, and the soul is love. Metaphysical, remember? Peace, love, unity, and advancement. That's the measurement of the word love. Taking a contemplated look at the word love. Emotional energy or intensity, or emotional or intellectual energy or intensity, whereas affection, archaically speaking, is the mental state and emotional state at its default. But guess what? The soul is your emotional state and your intellectual state at default. What the soul is, its energies thereof. And peace is going to be targeting the third eye chakra. Love is going to be targeting the heart chakra. And what is it going to be targeting them to do? Trigger them. So their mental and emotional qualities can get to reverberating, resonating, and moving to and throughout you all to manifest within our reality. Establish Yahusha. Infinity. Moving forward. So that's a measurement of love. Now we're almost back into the physical because we're going for the unity. Unity will be targeting love was targeting, I messed up. Love is targeting the throat chakra, triggering its mental and emotional. It's all still connected to the same source though. It's all still the one same soul, all the one same soul, meaning the 9 choirs of angels, BK, the 9 choirs of Orishas are all the concepts and or aspects and or power of the soul in one package. You follow what I'm saying? It's all the soul in one package. Moving forward. So even though I said love targeting the throat when I should have said love was targeting the heart, doesn't matter. Peace targeting the third eye chakra. Love targeting the throat chakra. I'm speaking it into the world. Doesn't matter. Like I said, doesn't matter. It's all the same weapon. A weapon that's going to kill hatred. And once hatred is down and out, the source of all immoral authority or the authority attached to chaos is down and out finally with righteous rage, being destroyed by righteous rage, attacked directly by righteous rage. What I should have said in that spiritual duel video, by the way. We will be all the way free. And then the soul's control will roll its own home. Moving forward. So here. Unity will be targeting the heart chakra then. And then advancement will be those 3 things in one unified state. Their direction in which they are headed towards advancement. Now moving on to the somatic plane. In the spirit now. In the physical spirit. Spirit is in the physical now. Where we can see everything in the spirit. Due to how the spirit is currently. The 3 chakras. The solar plexus chakra, the sacral chakra, and the root chakra. This is the realm of the achievements, yes? The somatic plane is the lane of the achievements. Achievements. What's the first set? They are calmness, serenity, love, and righteousness. And the achievements for the environment, the manifestation of all things good, beautiful, normal, and natural. See how certain words are repeating and together again? Those are the achievements for both the physical body and the environment. When you respect the soul, all of those things, those 16 things I just mentioned to you, and the details that I just mentioned them to you, will be manifesting to and throughout your reality. And that's all I really wanted to tell you. And the thing is, we manifest these things to and throughout us all by becoming what can be labeled and described as soul supremacist. Becoming a soul supremacist is the destruction of the foul, negative principality, mental prison, keeping you from being who you are. Becoming a soul supremacist is the destruction of the spirit prison. And then the attributes that made the spirit prison what it is will be out here with us where we can strangle it. Shalom, shalom, shalom. May these words reach you immediately and ensure you do everything you need for the betterment of your lives. Peace, love, unity, and advancement to you all, my family.